Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
Well, it is a special day for the city of Uvalde and the families and victims of the shooting at Robb Elementary. The Uvalde CISD is cutting the ribbon on its new elementary school today that will honor the victims of that tragedy. Our Ernie Zuniga had the opportunity to tour the campus yesterday, joins us live now from Uvalde this morning. Ernie, how are things looking out there? I know this is a special assignment.
It really is. And bittersweet, Courtney, I think is probably the word of the day, a word that's been repeated over and over again by just about everybody connected to this school one way or another. The ribbon, by the way, was cut about an hour ago inside the library here at Legacy Elementary. And as we speak right now, the invited guests, the dignitaries, the victim families, the school board administration, the superintendent, they're all in the cafeteria right now enjoying a special lunch and a reception, just some private time together after what's been an emotional day for everyone. I mean, to be clear, some tears were shed this morning, but also there were some smiles, some embraces, some handshaking. People realize that this is part celebration, but obviously the reason why this school is standing here behind me right now is a direct result of what happened back in May of 2022 at Robb Elementary. And I mentioned this earlier, a conscious decision was made. This is a $60 million campus that took close to 3 years to conceive and construct. A decision was made not to acknowledge the victims by name here, and that includes Jackie Casades, whose uncle happens to also serve on the Uvalde CISD school board, and I had a chance to visit with him on what is a very emotional day.
Time goes by, things seem to fade a little bit, so we always want to make sure that we're never going to forget them. So that's really important, and I appreciate all the detail that was involved in all the different artifacts, different things that were done to the school.
Jesse also made remarks during the ribbon cutting ceremony and got choked up a couple of times. We also heard from Mike Barath, who gave some very powerful remarks, the Texas Education Agency Commissioner, and some other people, including a representative from HEB, which came in with an initial $10 million donation to help get this school, which the funding had not been all in place while it was being constructed, but they took a leap of faith, if you will, and millions of dollars poured in from all over the state of Texas, including San Antonio, to ultimately get this job done. And I'm told there's a little money to spare. That money will go right back into the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District. So we're standing by. We're going to try to grab the superintendent, Ashley Colas, here in the next half hour to kind of just get a sense of what this day has been like for her. She was not here in 2022, but certainly has played a large role in today and what this new school will mean going forward. So we'll talk to her hopefully coming up at around 12:30. For now, though, in Uvalde at Legacy Elementary, again, soon to be home of the Coyotes. I'm Ernie Zuniga, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you so much, Ernie. Definitely bittersweet. Well, it is a case that sparked national debate over how police respond to mental health calls. 3 former SAPD officers charged in the shooting death of Melissa Perez will now face a jury. Erica Hernandez has been covering this case at length and is at the Justice Center now. Erica?
So we're just outside the courtroom doors, and we're moments away from opening statements getting underway. But here's a quick recap of this case that's gotten a lot of national attention. Melissa Perez was shot and killed in June 2023 during what officials described as a mental health crisis inside her Southwest Side home. Body camera footage released by SAPD shows the moments leading up to the shooting, footage that's expected to play a key role in this trial. All 3 former officers, Sergeant Alfred Flores, Officer Elizar Alejandro, and Officer Nathaniel Villalobos, are being tried together. Flores and Alejandro face murder charges, while Villalobos is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Now, after those opening statements, it's expected that the state will call its first witnesses. As of right now, we don't know yet who that will be. Now, there is a lot at stake in this trial. On one hand, you have a family who lost their mother, looking for some sort of justice for her. On the other hand, this case could set precedent on how officers, not just in San Antonio, but across the country, are trained when it comes to these types of calls. We're here at the Cadena Reeves Justice Center. We'll have updates all day long. You can watch on any of our digital platforms. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Erica. And as she said, we're live streaming this case right now on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and KSAT's YouTube page. Well, just a couple of hours ago, Cops Metro was outside San Antonio City Hall protesting Prop B. Proposition B will ask voters in the November 4th election whether to use the venue tax on hotel stays and car rentals to fund up to $311 million towards the construction of a new $1.3 billion Spurs arena at Hemisphere. The group says there are hidden costs on the deal, and voters deserve to know the real cost of Prop B.
To this end, our goal for today is transparency as we properly break down the cost of the plan. This November 4th vote starts a domino effect that will impact our San Antonio families.
The November 4th vote is the only chance for the public to have a say.
So we have a huge project before the city of San Antonio and Bexar County, big election coming up. We wanted to come to you and ask a lot of the questions that our viewers are asking.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with the one we are getting most often.
Sure.
Why can't the Spurs pay for a new arena all by themselves? Why do you need public dollars to do that?
Yeah, it's a great question, and a couple answers to that.
Well, you asked and we got the answers. Myra Arthur took KSAT viewer questions directly to Spurs owner Peter Holt. Scan that QR code to hear all of his answers. Myra asked her questions about plans for a new arena, from the cost to parking to what about the Frost Bank Center. You can find the full conversation on KSAT.com. San Antonio City Council has approved funding for a full fire department needs assessment. This study will look at staffing, equipment, facilities, and resources to make sure every neighborhood gets fair and fast emergency response. The goal is to identify gaps and help plan for the future so firefighters have what they need to keep the community safe. Results will guide budget and facility decisions for next year and beyond. Taking a look outside with live cam. 83 degrees right now, clear blue skies, Shelby.
I know those clear blue skies are kind of a good idea and a good grace for everyone. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful afternoon here in San Antonio. And with those blue skies, it also means it's going to be a sunny and a warm day for us in San Antonio. Right now, most of us still sitting in the 80s, 83 degrees in San Antonio, like Courtney just said, 81 in Bernie and Kerrville. That humidity has significantly decreased considering what we were just a mere few hours ago. We were seeing humidity values at 100% in areas where it's now just about 48%. But if you're going out and about today, especially to Floresville for the Peanut Festival, it's going to be clear today. Temperatures getting to about 93 degrees, still going to be sunny throughout most of the weekend. And tomorrow we're going to see some dry roasted peanuts and a dry roasted day as we're really seeing that humidity value really take in effect, and it's not going to be as humid as we normally see. It's going to be relatively dry, breezy winds as we get to Sunday, and we're going to see more of the same with the weather, but the temperatures are going to change for some. Not necessarily in our afternoon, but our morning temperatures are definitely going to be a little cooler for some folk. I'll break down what you need to know for the weekend and then moving forward what's controlling the weather coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Shelby. Well, today the city of San Antonio says it has no current plans to remove the rainbow crosswalks in the Pride Cultural Heritage District. That comes after Governor Greg Abbott directed TxDOT to enforce the removal of all, quote, political ideologies from Texas streets, citing concerns it might distract drivers. Since the governor's directive came down, we've learned Harris County leaders in Houston say they plan to pave over a very similar intersection. LGBTQ plus rights activists held a community forum last night in San Antonio and say protecting these crosswalks was one of their priorities.
It shows the struggle and how much we have put in to make this our own. It's a safe space for all of us.
We have not yet had the chance to talk directly to the governor since these directives came out, but a letter from the federal government indicates this initiative is to keep intersections and crosswalks distraction-free. Well, the San Antonio International Airport says cutbacks are forcing officials there to make some changes to a free parking program for disabled veterans. Currently, disabled vets and veterans with military awards get 30 days of free parking at any garage or lot. But starting November 1st, only prisoners of war and Purple Heart recipients will remain eligible for this parking perk. The city says the expenses of the program, as well as a recent FAA audit, forced their hand to cut the program. It costs upward of $11 million in parking validations in a year.
We wanted to ensure that we still had a program that would continue to add value and be mindful of who San Antonio is and why it's important for us to be considerate to all of our military personnel, whether active or veterans.
Disabled veterans will still be able to park in the airport's surface lots, which require those shuttles. Well, the IRS announcing changes to your tax form, how it could impact your wallet, plus how tariffs could make holiday shopping different from other years. And San Antonio police officers are pausing today to pray for their fellow officers and community. We'll tell you how you can learn about events planned for the National Faith and Blue Weekend.
Taking a look outside with live cam here in San Antonio. It's a warm day for us in San Antonio and beautiful blue skies. But what you don't see on that live cam is the pollen. It's still in the fall season, so you know what that means. We're still seeing ragweed sit moderate levels at 210. Molds are sitting low at 190, and the aquifer, no change today compared to what we were yesterday, although some areas have a chance of rain. I'll tell you where exactly in the country is going to see some rain coming up after the break.
God as my chief. I work for him first and foremost. So
no disrespect to McManus.
No disrespect.
San Antonio police officer Doug Green says his badge isn't the only guiding force. His faith is too, and he's not alone. For many officers, a higher being plays a big role in their calling to serve.
And I think it's very honorable that get the opportunity to serve people in some of their darkest moments and to be able to give them hope and to be able to guide them through very dark situations.
He's been with the department for 15 years and a part of Faith in Blue for about 5 of them. Faith in Blue is a national event that brings faith leaders and officers for a morning of prayer and unity once a year.
When someone calls for help, we don't ask what religion you are. We don't ask what ethnicity you are. No matter who you are, we're going to go and we're going to help you.
But the job comes with pressure and pain. Green says officers are constantly under stress, and he asks for grace and prayers for the 2,900 men and women behind the badge in San Antonio, because he says expectations are high.
Sometimes, Patty, I think it's a little too much. We do the best that we can. We're human. We're all going to fail you at times. But we are most effective when the community works with us.
And most recently, Green says cadets have been encouraged to connect with church leaders and Christian, Jewish, Hindu, and different groups so that they can connect with those cultures and be better prepared to interact with everyone when they are on the streets. In your top consumer headlines, the IRS is making some changes that could affect your federal taxes this year and next. They updated a few line items on tax returns. This is because of inflation and some new rules from a tax law passed in July. How it hits you really depends on the deductions you claim and your taxable income. But tax experts say a lot of people might get a little break since the new deductions can help ease the impact of inflation. If you want to know more, just head over to irs.gov. As you start making your holiday shopping list, be ready for some changes this year. Retailers are feeling pressure from tariffs, which could mean higher prices on some items. Inventory might be limited, so it's smart to shop early and set a budget for yourself. Expect fewer deals, especially on clothing, tech, and toys. And if you can, pre-order big ticket items and be open to alternatives like secondhand or private label brands to stretch your dollars. I know it's like this time of year when it starts to be even Halloween that I'm like, shopping.
I know.
It's too many deals, all the crime. Like, I just get overwhelmed.
I do too. However, I don't want people to come for me. I know Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet. I did buy a Christmas tree.
People do that now.
But I bought it because I saw a really great deal.
Okay.
So it was cheaper. But my mom is full in the send in your list now. We need to prepare. We need to get the deals.
If having a Christmas tree up makes you feel better about the fact that it's so hot in October, you do you.
Maybe put some little suns on the Christmas tree.
You can swap it. And whatever makes you happy.
I know a lot of people want to manifest the cooler temperatures.
I would love to.
If that was the reason, the Christmas tree would be up all year round.
Exactly, that's true.
But really, Courtney, we're not seeing the cooler temperatures today. I mean, just take a look outside in San Antonio right now. We're seeing beautiful blue skies, which are great. However, the temperatures associated with it are feeling a little more seasonable. Yes, the 80s are normal for us this time of year, but the 80s are also bringing some warmer temperatures. I mean, just take a look at Del Rio. They're seeing southerly winds about 15 miles an hour. But take a look at the gusts. They're seeing the wind gusts up to 20. So it's helping feed in some of that warm air into areas of South Texas for most of us. And that's going to happen as we head throughout the day today. Seeing temperatures get into about 93 degrees in San Antonio, 90 up in Junction, as we still have that heat high just sitting in areas of West Texas and up near the Panhandle. That's allowing some of that warm air and that dry air to really stick around as we head throughout the next day or two. While we do have two tropical systems, we have Tropical Storm Priscilla and Tropical Storm Raymond, both producing 45 to 60 mile an hour winds, and all of the moisture associated with these tropical storms are going to get fed up into areas of Mexico, and even West Texas could see some of the moisture, but they're going to see the moisture that produces some rain. In San Antonio, we're going to see some of that moisture, yes, and as it's looped back into that high pressure system and pushed from that low pressure system, that's where we're seeing the rain chances. But really, take a look at the next 7 days. We're not seeing any sort of rain chances really in areas of San Antonio. Just take a look at the forecast. As I take a little query here in San Antonio, you can see maybe a few hundredths of an inch, but as you get just to the west in areas of Marfa, they're seeing almost a full inch of rain. So yes, some folks will see some rain. San Antonio, though, it doesn't look likely. We continue to see temperatures in the 60s and 90s with that low humidity being the main weather story, Courtney, as we head throughout the weekend and even into the next 7 days. But it will be made for a beautiful weekend ahead in the Alamo City.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks, Shelby. Student mariachi groups are ready to bring the music and celebrate culture in a special festival this weekend. We'll tell you when and where it's happening. And still ahead, a familiar face gets personal. On today's Pickup Lines, our own Sarah Spivey opens up about her hearing loss and a personal struggle she copes with today. This week on Pickup Lines, a candid conversation with one of our own here at KSAT. Meteorologist Sarah Spivey is a Clark High School grad and has been here at KSAT with us since 2017. Soon after she got here, Sarah began using a hearing aid to help with a childhood condition that caused her to lose much of her hearing. She also opened up about a personal struggle she deals with to this day.
I was born without one of those bones that beats on your ear to make your eardrum work. And because of that, I would frequently get these things called cholesteatomas.
Okay.
Which basically just is like ear infection. And so it made me lose my hearing over time. Yeah, so I can hear in my ear, but and that's why I wear a hearing aid in that ear. But it's reduced by quite a bit.
Despite all of that, Sarah is a talented musician and singer, a relatively new mom, the best friend ever to all of us here at KSAT. And the latest episode of Pickup Lines premieres at 5:30, replays at 7:30 this evening, and the free KSAT Plus app. You can watch it now or on KSAT.com. Just search Pickup Lines. We are lucky to have our Sarah. Also happening this weekend, more than a dozen student mariachi groups in the San Antonio area will be commemorating Hispanic Heritage Month tomorrow at the 16 Mariachi Festival. 10 high school groups and 5 middle school groups will be performing at this year's Mariachi Festival happening at the Arneson River Theater.
It makes me feel proud of my heritage. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something by contributing to my culture.
The 16 Mariachi Festival is happening tomorrow at the Arneson River Theater from 2 to 9 p.m. and admission is free. All right, San Antonio, have any old batteries lying around? Well, this Saturday, October 11th, that's tomorrow, you can trade them in for a pass to Battery Fest. The fun citywide event with food, games, and even fire trucks to check out. It's all about battery safety and fire prevention, so bring your batteries to the Solid Waste Center on Loop 410 and join in on the fun from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas now in place with troops pulling back and the U.S. sending forces to monitor. But the big question, when will the hostages be released? We've got the latest. Plus, the government shutdown enters day 11 and military families are feeling the strain. Republicans face pressure to act as federal workers miss paychecks. We'll break it down.
Taking a live look outside with live cam. It is a warm afternoon and a beautiful sunny afternoon here in South Texas. But one thing you don't see is those humidity levels. Yes, it's still going to be a fairly normal day for us here in South Texas. And even then, although our average temperature is still in those 80s, that's normally what we should be seeing as our peak temperature. That's what we're feeling right now. But even then, we're feeling the mugginess. This is a look at the dew point temperatures just to show you how much humidity is actually in the atmosphere. We're seeing those dew point temperatures in the 60s to even near 70s and near 50, which means it just shows us that some folks are sitting a little muggy and a little more tropical than, let's say, other areas that are a little more dry. And the good news is the humidity levels are expected to continue to decrease by tomorrow morning, and that's really going to be a beautiful afternoon. However, it could pose some issues, especially because this weekend we're not expecting any sort of rain or really any sort of moisture. Low humidity on Saturday, low humidity on Sunday with a mix of that sun and that cloud coverage. But the morning temperatures are going to be beautiful. Today, some folks were waking up in the 50s. Tomorrow and Sunday, I wouldn't be surprised if a few folks in the Hill Country continue to wake up in the 50s. 65 degrees tomorrow morning, 64 as we get into Sunday. And next week, we continue to have more temperatures in the 60s. But like I mentioned, it's going to be dry, not only this week, but it's also dry today. I'll break down what you need to know with how dry we currently are and take a look at our drought monitor coming up in just a bit.
Thank you so much, Shelby. Well, today has been deemed bittersweet. Earlier today, the Uvalde CISD cut the ribbon on its new elementary school that will honor the victims of that tragedy. Our Ernie Zuniga was live with us earlier in the show. He joins us live again now. Ernie, you've got the superintendent with you.
Courtney, indeed I do, and I was just talking with her. I've emceed a few events over the years, and you had to put your MC hat on for this ribbon cutting a little while ago, and I must say, honestly, I didn't envy you because that was a very powerful ceremony, to say the least.
Yes, sir, it was. We had a number of speakers that were outstanding people to come and give remarks, and the room was full of all of the people who are special to Uvalde and donors, and it was a great day.
How do you, in a few words, it might be impossible, kind of encapsulate what has happened over the last 3.5 years here, the generosity, the outpouring, the flood of emotions, all kind of building up to a crescendo here today?
All right. You know, when you experience, a small community experiences such a tragedy, it touches everyone. And of course, people from all over the world and certainly across the state of Texas have wanted to help in whatever way that they could. And the way that they could help was by building this beautiful school. And while today is a bittersweet day, it's definitely a triumphant day. All of the donors, the families of victims, the survivors, all together, our contractors, our architects, our teachers, our students, just a beautiful day for us all to come together and just reflect on the work and see it in action, the beautiful new school.
You're wearing the button with the victims of Rob obviously on there, and I was struck by how many of them came, some of them last night.
Yes.
They came again today. They insisted on being here.
They did, and we're thankful for that. You know, we know that this school will go forward into, you know, the future and have our kids who are so excited about coming here inside of it and safe. And I think that they really just wanted to know that kids are going to be safe inside this building and that their loved ones are going to be remembered, and we want to do that for them.
I guess lastly, it might be impossible to answer. Do you have a favorite part of the campus?
Oh, Oh, that's so hard. You know, the cafeteria is beautiful, but I'm going to have to say the library, where you can see the tree, you know, that represents our 21 beautiful souls, and the beautiful sun, you know, mural that's painted. It's amazing. And our learning steps that are colorful and just really represent the community of Uvalde. And so, yeah, the library.
Which was a perfect setting for the ribbon cutting earlier today. And again, you did a fantastic job. So I guess finally, this is essentially, is it like turning a page, if you will, in the overall healing process, the story of Uvalde, if you will?
What I'll say is it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter where our kids and the community will have a beautiful space to learn in that feels safe, and you know, a place to meet and a place to have that community feel. That's a beautiful representation of Uvalde. And so I think it is going to start a new chapter for us, and we're so grateful.
And it'll officially begin on the 20th when the kiddos will be here and school will be in session. So again, thank you so much on a very emotional day for sure. Appreciate your time and everything.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, very good. All right, that's the very latest from Uvalde and the brand new Legacy Elementary School. Again, home of the Coyotes. I'm Ernie Zuniga, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Ernie, for that live report. Meanwhile, in today's other national headlines, there's growing anxiety among American military families as the government shutdown stretches into day 11. Sources telling ABC News that some Republicans are calling on the speaker to bring them back into session ahead of a critical deadline. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more.
This morning, new pressure on Republicans to end the government shutdown as federal workers face a second week without pay.
As a Republican, I'm very disappointed in my party, and I'm very disappointed in you because you do have the power to call the House back. You did that, or you refused to do that just for a show. I am begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die.
House Speaker Mike Johnson faced fierce criticism on live TV on Thursday as a woman claiming to be a military spouse accuses him of putting her children at risk.
You could stop this, and you could be the one that could say military is getting paid. And I think that it is awful, and the audacity of someone who makes six figures a year to do this to military families is insane.
Military families lining up for hours for a food pantry distribution in Fort Hood, Texas, as they brace for a missed paycheck. But Johnson is saying only Democrats can end the shutdown.
Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are preventing your family from getting the care they need, not Republicans, and my heart goes out to you.
Meanwhile, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene admits her own party could end the shutdown.
I'm a representative. I don't have to be a cheerleader for my party. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you know, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown.
It comes as airports across the country are hit with hours-long delays due to staffing shortages. 21,000 flights were delayed this week. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is saying 53% of those delays were caused by sick calls. Duffy now saying workers who call out could be fired.
House Democrats say they're willing to pass a standalone bill to ensure pay for troops during the shutdown, but Johnson says he won't support the bill because it won't pass the Senate. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is now in effect, with Israeli troops pulling back to agreed lines this morning. The U.S. is sending troops to the region to help monitor the ceasefire while the clock ticks on Hamas to release the hostages.
I am beyond grateful that America has been a strong ally of Israel.
Under the agreement, Hamas will release 20 living hostages in the next week, possibly as early as Monday, as well as the remains of the 28 others, while Israel agrees to free over 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. Humanitarian aid will also be allowed into Gaza, but the timing remains uncertain. The world watches as this fragile peace takes hold. A teen soccer player's life changed when she was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer. Now in remission, she's being honored this weekend for her brave fight. And they lost their children to fentanyl, and now moms are taking a stand. This Sunday, the biggest fentanyl awareness walk in Texas hits the streets, packed with powerful stories and vital information you'll need to hear.
Take
taking a look outside with live cam. It's a beautiful and warm afternoon, but don't let it deceive you. This morning, some folks were waking up a little on the chilly side. Now, we did have those clear skies to allow our temperatures to cool down into the 50s and 60s. And if you love the 60s, don't worry, they're not going anywhere. We're continuing to see the trend of some cooler temperatures in the mid to low 60s when our average is really about 63 degrees. But not only are we seeing the cooler temperatures, we're also seeing drier conditions. I'll break down what exactly that entails for San Antonio coming up after the break.
Well, they lost their own children, and that's why they want to save others. That's why a group of moms created the first ever fentanyl awareness walk in Texas a few years ago. And this Sunday is the third annual Souls Walking for Souls event, not just honoring lives lost, but packed with education for all families in our community. I will be emceeing that event on Sunday, and I spoke to some of the Angel moms about why they hope the community will join them.
Braden was 21. He had just turned 21 when we lost him in July 18th of 2020. He loved music, loved gaming, loved his Mustang, his family.
Jake Ryan was poisoned in April 30th, 2021. He was a wonderful person. I miss him.
We found out it was oxy that was laced with fentanyl, so it was truly one pill that killed him.
So he started struggling with anxiety, and he asked a friend for something, and they gave him an oxy, just one pill.
The story's tragically similar for these Angel moms. Nikki Goals losing her son and Martha Johnson losing her grandson.
We didn't even know what fentanyl was. I've never heard of it.
That's why these women joined other Angel moms, vowing to prevent these deaths from happening. They created Souls Walking for Souls, the first ever fentanyl awareness walk in Texas. Now in its third year, the event has exploded. Hundreds show up not just to honor lives, but hear from people in the highest offices in the city, county, and state.
It's about learning more about fentanyl. It's about learning more about what's coming down the drug pipeline. It's about how to save a life.
Parents take life-saving information home with them.
They need to speak to their kids and not feel they're too young. It's so sad, but like 10 years old up, they need to know that there's something out there that is poison, and for them not to take anything from anyone. And it's in vape, it's in pot, it's in everything.
They will also have free Narcan at the event. This is the no spray medication that reverses an opioid overdose or poisoning, and they'll be teaching us how to use it. The Souls Walking for Souls Walk, Resource Fair, and event is this Sunday from 3 to 8 p.m. at the Green Line at Brooks City Base, and we hope that you'll join us there. A cancer diagnosis sidelined a 15-year-old soccer career. Jalen Escobedo grew up playing the fields in Floresville. When she was 13, she noticed her lymph nodes were swollen. After visiting doctors, they diagnosed her with T-cell leukemia. It's a rare and aggressive type of blood cancer. She spent more than 2.5 years in treatment.
It's hard to look back as well because, I went through a lot. I did get my lung punctured while I had my port placed. I had high methotrexate toxicities. My journey was pretty rough.
She's so strong, and today she is in remission. And this weekend, she will be recognized as one of Blood Cancer United's honored heroes. We're celebrating and honoring people like Jalen at the Light the Night this Saturday at 6 p.m. That's tomorrow at the Rocket La Cantera, and it is free to go. Just scan the QR code on your screen to donate. Unbelievable stories. Our Danielle Ibarra will be emceeing that event. The KSAT folks busy this weekend. So many good events. We hope you'll be able to join us.
I know all the last few weeks the newsroom's been, oh, I'm going to this event, I'm doing this event. It's so good to see everyone going out and about. And I'm so glad to be able to tell everyone that the weather's going to be nicer. That way I can do my part a little bit.
Yes, there we go.
Trying to help. It is going to be dry though, especially for your event this weekend. And we're seeing that dry air feed into areas of South Texas. Right now, like I've been mentioning, temperatures still sitting in the 80s, 83 degrees at the airport, 87 degrees now in Bulverde and Devine, 88 in Gonzales, Pleasanton, and Poteet. Now this afternoon, we We are expected to get to the 90s, 93 degrees expected to be our peak temperature. If you're going out this afternoon and even into the evenings for a great just evening out or date night, temperatures will still be in the 80s and 90s, so it still might be a little toasty, but that humidity is going to be feeling a little lower, so it's going to be feeling like a beautiful evening. And then tonight, once again, temperature is going back to the 70s already after 10 o'clock and near midnight. But here's the thing, because we're going to be so dry, there is a few things you need to know. Because we've had little to no rain over the last few weeks and even the last month, things have dried out fairly quickly. And with that, with the warm and dry and breezy conditions this weekend, there is that slight chance for some fire danger because the dry conditions are only going to worsen as we continue to see everything just dry out more and more. So here's a look at today. Although we don't have much of a issue in San Antonio, there is still a moderate chance for some sort of fire danger today. As you go out towards Houston, near Beaumont, even up into areas of Conroe, just further outside of the Houston metro, that's where they have the high to very high and even that extreme chance of some fire danger. Now, tomorrow is going to be better, but Sunday, we start to see once again that moderate chance for some fire danger as we go into Sunday. But then also there's that little bit of that high chance because the winds are still going to be gusting up to about 20 miles an hour. This does not mean there is going to be a fire. These just are heightened things that are going to have that chance for some fire danger. And we want everyone to be prepared, especially when we take a look at the drought monitor that was issued yesterday. We are still seeing such dry and extreme conditions. We're still in that extreme to exceptional drought in Medina County, in Bexar County, still seeing that extreme drought, and that drought's continuing to see that abnormally dry condition really expand across South Texas. Now, the good news, like I mentioned, that low humidity will make it be feeling absolutely great as we head into the weekend, but next week we need at least some sort of rain. The moisture returns to South Texas, but no rain chances really in the forecast for us. So enjoy the beautiful weekend. Go out to the KSAT community events as it will be a beautiful weekend to enjoy.
All right, thanks so much, Shelby. Well, today is World Mental Health Day, and we've got 5 important facts and experts want you to know about helping break stigma and supporting those who are struggling. Stay with us. And we as well have the CDC taking a closer look at children's vaccine recommendations with the new panel. Learn what could change and who's on this new group. The CDC is reviewing vaccine recommendations for children, which could lead to changes in the schedule. The new working group of external advisors has been established to assess vaccines, including ingredients, technologies, and concerns about vaccine hesitancy. The group is part of the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. In June, the health secretary replaced the previous members in an unprecedented move. The new panel includes some members who have previously made controversial statements about vaccines. The CDC has not yet announced who will serve on that working group. Well, today is World Mental Health Day, a time to raise awareness, promote education, and advocate against stigma when it comes to mental health issues. In today's Health Minute, Jaffney Gray has 5 facts an expert wants you to know about mental health.
In the U.S., an estimated 1 in 5 adults live with a mental illness, and that's why awareness is so important. At the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, clinical neuropsychologist Scott Langenecker says everyone should know 5 facts about mental health. First, don't limit your expectations of those who have mental illness.
Some of the most important innovations that we've had in the history of humans have been developed by people who also have mental health conditions.
Second, Langenecker says that care is available like never before, thanks to technology like video conferencing. More people who are struggling with mental health are being reached and are receiving personalized, high-quality care. Third, it's important to look at people in a holistic way. Seeing a person's diagnosis is only one part, and to consider how they are moving toward wellness and resilience.
Some of that can be embedded within their workplace and the supports that they have in their workplace or in their school. Some of that can be embedded within their relationships.
Fourth, he says that there needs to be a shift in how we think about mental health. Focus on today and tomorrow rather than the past. If someone struggling had a bad day, learn from it and use that knowledge for a better tomorrow. And finally, you can make a difference to someone who is struggling by simply checking on them. especially when there are suicidal ideations involved.
Buying people time to really sort of reconsider what's happening in the moment and not getting lost in the crisis of the moment or a mistake of the moment.
Throughout the next 3 days, expect similar conditions, waking up at about 65 to 64 degrees. Beautiful weekend in store, seeing that low humidity. And then take a look at the rest of your 7-day. Pretty much copy paste to what you're experiencing this weekend. Pretty much basic. The only battle is we're expecting is the low humidity through the weekend, finally returning next week, Courtney. And otherwise, just a little bit of that cloud coverage.
All right. Today's Locals Day at the zoo. So if you're in Bexar County and you can prove it, go. It's $8.
Drink some water, find some shade.
It'll be toasty.
Go. It'll be worth it.
Yeah. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope to see you on Sunday at the Fentanyl Walk.